So we're gonna work with the ES. So TradingView has uh, a volume profile within. Okay, and let me make sure that I cover this. So let's switch this over to RTH so you guys can see RTH session only. This is the ES, RTH session only. Okay, so pretty clear. So I hope everybody's following me so far. So RTH only is what normally
Order submitted.
I look at most of the times. TradingView has a couple of indicators. For example, I go indicators here, and I'll type uh, volume profile. Volume profile. These are the TradingView indicators, the ones you see where it says technical. So we can do volume profile in here, and
Order canceled.
we're gonna use the one that says periodic volume profile. So we're going to cancel the first one, and we're gonna do the one that says PVP. So you can just type indicators, PVP, it gives you periodic
Order submitted.
volume profile. Okay, so that's how you get the volume profile in TradingView. Now, to set it up to see the N30's, let's just suppose that you are here in period one bar, open down, row size 24. So row size, let me just do 4 ticks. Extend to the right if it's a naked POC for the candle, and you can go in style, and you can just eliminate all the color in there, and all you get is a line. So this line are the naked POCs based on TradingView volume profile. Everyone follow me so far? Okay. So here I have 30-minute volume profiles that extend out the POC. So here's a POC here, here's a POC over here, here's a POC from that candle, here's a POC from that candle, and so forth. So those are the N30's, as we call them. So N30's, no issue. We're going to do another PVP, and this one, all you gotta do,
order canceled.
You can just copy this one here, copy and paste, so you don't have to do everything once again. And here, your input's gonna be, so in 4 hours, you got 8 30-minute bars. And the POC for this one, we're gonna change the color and we're gonna make it white. I know there's a lot of lines right now, but trust me, you're not gonna use this every day for, some of them are for analysis and some of them would be for trading. So the shadow that you see is a 4-hour candle. What you're seeing here in 4 hours is that we are already one time framing down. Because actually we're not one time framing down, we're in balance. And the balance, like I was saying before,
Order submitted.
in 4 hours, I'm gonna draw my fit, and this is the 50% right here, which is 45.84. All right, but we're gonna talk about balance later down the line. So for now, I just wanted to make sure that I show you how to do the N30's. Now, this is different ways to get the volume profile in TradingView. You're gonna need to know the indicator, volume profile. So we get volume profile. Let me just do fixed range.
Order canceled.
I'm not sure why it's not saying it. All right, let's just do this one here. Session. Here are the settings right here. Here's the volume profile. And all we need is, on this volume profile, we need the POCs. And here's the volume profile.
Order submitted.
So these ones are volume profiles for the sessions. As you can see, this is the volume profile for this session. This is the volume profile for yesterday's session. So let me go back up here and let me change. I don't want to see. I want to see the POC. Okay, this one here, 4 hours, which is this bar here. I only want to see, I don't want to see the box. Up and down 70%, value, POC, labels and values inside the candle, blah, blah, blah. POC, it must be this one here. Okay, I didn't want to see the box. There you go. So the box is gone. On this one here, HD, I don't want to see the box either. So I'm going to delete that. I don't want to see the box. Hope you follow me so far. Let me make sure. I'm going to go in the chat box and make sure people are following me. Can you guys type on the chat if you follow what I'm saying so far? And I know, I believe that our Discord is open, so the audio is also going to Discord. Okay, got it. All right, so this is how you set the profile.
Order canceled.
In here. So we got the 4-hour POCs are white. The 30-minute POCs are, I guess you can call it pink or red, whatever color you want to call it. All right, and the volume profile for the session is right here. Alexa, stop. It's right here. Now, another way to get the volume profile, for example, you can pick from here. You can choose. TradingView has the volume profile in one of these boxes here. I think it's on this one here. You can just look at it from here. I have it highlighted as my favorites. Let me see if I can find it. I don't recall where it's at in here, but I got it right here. You see, it's on this box here. Forecasting and measuring tools. See it right here at the bottom. So you can do a volume profile for anything that you want. Let's just say, let me do volume profile for this session and see if it matches the other one. And there you have here, value area high, value area high, and value area low. That is printed in orange, and you get the POC in white. So hence the reasons why you're seeing POC right now. Price kind of like struggling around POC. after they hit this 4 hour naked POC, this is a reversal candle that is printing. But again, we're one time framing. We were one time framing down. Now we are in balance. And the balance, I'm going to explain to you how to look it up. So every single volume profile has 3 compositions. Okay. So here's the volume profile. Let me hide this indicators here so we can clear things out. Every single volume profile has, I'm going to remove that indicator. I don't know why I have a volume profile in there. But anyways, $6.99. All right, so every single volume profile has 3 components. Let's just say this is Monday the 19th. We make this a little smaller. So this is Monday here. This is what we publish our weekly plan. Then we're going to take the volume profile from here. We're going to stretch it out. And you're going to see this volume profile here a little bigger than what it was before. And here's what the magic starts to happen, okay? Value area high for the week. POC in white. Value area low for the week. And this is the ES. So, with this piece of information, so value area high, value area low, and POC. So what happens here is all the trading that takes place from this session, when I marked it from here to here, is being profiled. So the profile is created in here based on volume, where the most volume has been traded. So obviously you start looking for this kind of diagram here that it tells you where the volume is. When you start seeing this, the 68% or 70% of the trading is happening from orange to orange. Okay. So this is called, like I said, value area high, value area low, and POC, point of control. Why is it called the point of control? Because obviously that's where the most volume has been traded. Plain and simple. It's just point of control. That's exactly what it means. And we have to understand the reasons why most of the volume has been traded here. We had a target at 4606, I believe, and a weekly target at 08, 09, and it actually hit it to the tick. Right now, as we speak, you can see the reaction in the NQ right at the T2. But we're not talking NQ right now. But I just want to introduce the volume, and I covered this before, but this is the volume profile here. Now, when I bring over, let's just say I'm going to bring over the plan for today. I'm going to copy the plan, paste that over here. There's a lot of lines, so it gets a little overwhelming, right? You know, it does. I will agree with that. But you know, it gives you some sort of information that is important for us to make good decisions. For example, today is Thursday, and let me make sure that I'm at the right time. I'm not in London. I'm in New York. So here, the candle that pushed up, guys, and the ES, this is the opening price for the ES right here. The candle that pushed up, it's just hit the TP1. Okay, that's all it did. It hit the TP1, and you can see the rejection there. And it traded all the way down here close to our, I believe 68 is our TP1 below pivot. Same TP2 will be over here and so forth. All right. So everyone follows me so far. Volume profile. Let me see what the question is. I did turn the background music off. So sorry I didn't do it before. Uh, but it's done now. So and you see how this candle here came back and hit the opening price, uh, and it basically, you know, it went back down. Let me make sure that I'm giving you the right opening price. Now the opening price in the ES is here. Opening 84.25. 84.25. That was the open today. Yeah. Why do I have a different opening in my other chart? Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that I got the right time frame here. Because I don't want to give you the wrong information. Oh, I never moved it. That's what it is. So the ES is trading below the opening price right now. 84.25. Okay. Now we are below the opening price, so that makes a lot of sense for me now. And ES is probably on its way to make a new low. So when you take a look at this, is the weekly composition of the volume profile. And I was talking about rotation, right? So the rotation is very simple. The rotation is always value area high, value area low to POC. So it normally does, price normally does this. You know, if it's coming from below, it gets the value area high. If it fails there, it's gonna look for POC. If it fails at POC, it's gonna try to go for value area low. So this right here, yesterday, it failed right at POC. I'm sure POC was there yesterday, but to validate that, I can just redraw the volume profile and go back to Monday and just do before. This is what the closing on Wednesday, and then Thursday. Let me go to closing on Wednesday. It tested on Thursday. So if I go to Wednesday, okay, so it would be like right around here. POC was right here. So it didn't actually change much with today's information. But you can see how the POC stay there. So it broke down, came back up and tested the POC, and now a rejection of POC will probably target the value area low. In fact, I am going to put an alert here. Probably a few points in that area, so I can get alert when it gets there. So now let's talk about the session profile. Session profile is very simple. It's today's session. So if I turn the indicator on, it will do it automatically, but I'll do this one now. So I'm doing the same profile that you saw there and doing it over here. So we open here, we came back down, we created the value area low, then it came back up, tested the opening price, and now we are above POC. POC is a 77. We're pivoting from 80 today, which is exactly where we're trading at right now. So now, you know, if the ES
Order submitted.
successfully gets above, you know, the opening price, let's just say, for example, it'll likely get to 89 and see what's there once again. So that's how the volume profile works. It's just basically a profiling the movement and all the trading that has been done during a particular time frame. It could be daily, it could be weekly, it could be uh, 30 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. So I'm going to extend this out once again,
Order
and
canceled.
I'm going to do the profile just for you guys to see. This is the weekly profile. I'm going to bring this one up a little bit so I can get alerted when I get that. So that was the first portion of it. So we talked about profile overview. We talked about profile rotation, value area high to value area low. Uh, I would not recommend anybody starting a trade from POC unless it's a one-time framing situation and you want to take advantage of the movement. So I have created this indicator here. Copy and uh, paste. This indicator is an indicator of one-time framing. Every time you see a blue arrow, we're one-time framing up. Every time you see a yellow arrow, is one-time framing down. Every time you see a little square here, is a inside candle. So that candle's inside the previous candle. That's all it means. Now we get a new candle opening, and you can see in the ES that we are below the opening price. If we were to touch the open, then we would be one-time framing up, because you need two consecutive high to determine whether you're one-time framing up or not. All right, so that's how I have a program anyways. NQ is testing the T1 or the T2 right now at 751. It hasn't been able to get out of that area. So that's how you know the actual one time framing, and you can do it manually. You know, obviously we're coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. The moment you get one candle higher than the previous candle on a one-time framing
Order
down
submitted.
situation, you create what I call a balance zone. And then the balance zone is going to be the highest point to the lowest point right here. All right, let me remove the fibs. It creates a balance zone from here to here. That's your balance zone now. So, and then the balance zone, I normally do the 50%, and the 50% of that is exactly where we are now. Above the 50%, I'm bullish. Below, I'm bearish. And from here, the ideal target, it would be 92. From below here, the ideal target would be 71. If the ES breaks 71, it is very high, very likely to hit 63. So that's where we at right now in terms of balance. We are in we interrupted the one-time framing down, but we're not one-time framing up just yet. All right. So I hope so far you guys understand what we're talking about here. So when you have 30-minute bars, these are RTH only. We have two different things. Oh, before I go into more discussion, let me, if you have sent me your TradingView username, the way that you add the indicators that I share with you guys, the members, is basically you go here where it says indicators, and if I have added you to the list, you will have this tab here that says invite only scripts. And when you click there, you're going to have some invite only scripts in here. Okay? So like the trade plan plotter, uh, and then the buy sell pressure. Let's just say, for example, you click here and you click here. So I had the indicator automatically adds here to your chart. And if you want to have the same settings that I have, then all you have to do is you just let me know, and then I'll share my settings with you. And then this one would be that, and then this one is the trade plan plotter. So we plot the levels and everything. So some of you guys already have it. So I'm gonna make one more indicator public today, and that one I have to explain to you what it does, but it's not part of the class. So now, how do you know whether you have a fair value gap or not? Well, that's a little tricky, right? So I know one of you guys want ask me about single prints and how to identify
Order
single
canceled.
prints and how to identify uh, value gaps and things of that nature. So let me give you an example of a fair value gap, and I can find this manually, but we can validate that later when I add the indicator. So you see this candle here, this green candle. So the low of the candle after is right here, and the high of the candle before is right here. So that created a fair value gap. And we're gonna paint this differently. Let's just say it's blue. This is a fair, oh, you know what? No, let's change it to a different color. Purple. That's a fair value gap there, or it was, until we traded below it. So in other words, if this candle wasn't here, now we traded below the fair value gap right here, and we're trading right at resistance. So in my indicator, it will extend it out until it's mitigated. So for now, this candle here, this red candle here, mitigated that fair value gap. So it means we traded through it already. Here's another fair value gap. Right here. Actually, it isn't a fair value gap because this candle, yeah, it is a fair value gap right here. This is a fair value gap that has not been mitigated just yet, and so forth. So that's fair value gap. But before I continue, I'm going to share this indicator with you, which I created, and it's called the market opening range. This one here. Copy. I will share this with you so you don't have to worry about it for now. So this indicator here is called JD's visual market profile. So I manually located the fair value gaps and you saw them. This one happens to be a little bigger because it will only go away when it's mitigated. So if it's not mitigated 100%, it will be there. So you can see how this blue zone stopped right here. And you can see, wow, NQ is on repeat mode. I'm glad I'm out. So this one will print those zones for you, so you don't have to manually find them. What this indicator will also do for you, you can see more zones over here, things like that. What this indicator also does for you is that it identifies single prints. And it doesn't look like we have a single print here just yet. This indicator also highlights the low of the session. So for example, this session here, what it says, it says New York right here. So that was the high of the session. This is the low of the session, and extends that line until interception, and extend that line until interception, and extend this line, the red line, onto interception. You can see that red line over here because that was the high of the session. So that's how I know sometimes, like going back like to 2020, if I have a high that hasn't been revisited or a low that hasn't been revisited, and I can just go into that. So then you get here and you understand what's going on, in terms of fair value gaps and things like that. Now, if I bring the NQ, we may have some single prints here. So let me wait until it loads. And I know this is a single print right here, because let me delete this. Actually, I'm not going to delete that, but I'm going to hide drawings. You can see how this from here to here was a single print, and now is getting filled. So that single print will get totally filled right here at 831. Like I told you before, my one-time framing indicator, once you get two consecutive highs, like this one broke that high, this one broke this high, now you get a blue arrow. It means that we're one-time framing up. So I hope so far you follow me. So look at the value. There's a lot of indicators that I have, and I can share with you. We gap down, and like I said yesterday, the gap fill is this line right here, which is 911. This is the green line in there, 911. We had a small single print here. We have a huge fair value gap here. And from session to session, that's where the single prints get formed, obviously. Like sometimes it will be a fair value gap, sometimes it will be a single print. So how do you know the difference? If you get, visually I know it, but if you get your profile tool, you're going to see that, see how skinny it is here? It only has one bar threaded right through it. So that is a single print until it's filled. There's other ways to identify single prints. But the easiest way is that if you have a candle that hasn't been traded through, then that is a single print. And you take the low of the one before here and the high of the one that is printing, and that is filling the single print. Let me stop here just in case any questions. You need my settings for, tell me which indicator you need the settings for. And then I'm gonna share anyways in a new tab that I'm gonna create. It's gonna be called the Trading View Setup. Okay, so okay, cool. So here's the NQ as we speak right now is one-time framing up. It broke the one-time framing down. All right. So this covers the fair value gaps and the single prints. Now we're going to talk about true gaps and value gaps in pricing. So for example, the NQ open on a true gap down. A true gap down only happens when you open below the previous day low, not the close. That would be a value gap, the low. So the gap fill in this occasion, those that were trading live with me know that I was looking for the 15,911 to be a short opportunity, a gap fill. It didn't get there. So this right here was the gap fill. The 911 still is. So now we have a gap here that needs to be filled. And when is it going to happen? I don't know. So that is a gap. We call it a true gap. When you have a discrepancy in pricing, for example, like yesterday, or in this particular session here, we open above the previous day close, you have a gap there, but it's just a value gap, not a true gap per profile standards. So now we're going to bring in here the 30-minute naked POCs. So, surprise, surprise. Okay, according to TradingView, where did the NQ bounce from? Does it look familiar here? Naked POC, right? Right here. See it? Let me eliminate this drop because I cut the whole entire move with QQQ puts. See this red line here? It's the POC. That's the POC from this candle right here. If we were to trade below that candle, here's the POC for the prior candle. And then if we were to trade below that, this is the low for that particular session. And this is another naked POC. And this is another naked POC. And this is a low from another session. So that's why I can do an analysis pretty fast because I got the right tools. I know that here we close with a spike because it's spike to the downside because it's a purple candle. Spike to the upside is going to be a yellow candle. So this here, we had a T2 and a T2 or T3 in the NQ today was 692. 692, which is right here, did not hit. The reasons why it didn't hit, potentially, is because, or coincidentally, and I didn't prep for this class like that, you have a naked POC right there. Now, if you have, those that are new with me, the ES, when you're trading with a target, the ES is 2.5 points above and 2.5 points below. So, for example, if I was to take, let's just say that my target here, I have a target of 40, I believe one of them is 4606. Let me see if I have one here. Yeah, 4606 is the target. So I'm going to put this line of 4606 right here. So your zone is 08.5 to 3.5. This is where you start looking for reversal opportunities. Sometimes it does get to the actual level. Sometimes inside the level, you're going to have a visual reference. And in this case, you got this POC of 4.5. Above the level, you have another visual reference, which is the high of that particular session over here, which is at 09. That's why from time to time, you have to allow yourself a little bit of time to enter the trade. And in this case, this trade will have triggered it from your 06 level will have triggered it from 03. Because if you're using the 30-minute candle opening strategy to enter the trade, then you're taking it a candle opening here, you're using the top as a stop. You may not get a visit to that pivot. It may trigger from here. The trade may trigger a little higher than pivot. I don't know. It all depends. But my recommendation is that always take a trade at candle opening. 30-minute candle opening. See what happened here in the ES? What did it get to? You see this right here? I mean, this couldn't be any better. I told you this was the POC for this candle right here, below the opening price. It didn't hit the opening price. It hit the naked POC that was at 86. Do you see it? I hope you do, because I'm seeing it. And yeah, I will have probably taken a short. It's right there. As a naked POC, and the candle hit it right there. Sorry, I get a little excited when I see selling opportunities. Uh, so here's the POC. Now here's the other POC from this candle here is right down here at 74. And I just told you that the balance area that we created from here to here in the ES is from 70 all the way up to 90, 92, and 81 being the midpoint. Okay, let's go switch back over to the NQ and take a look and see what we got. Why did the NQ reject in here? Well, I think the VWAP was there. So let's put the VWAP. I don't normally use it, but we're going to put it here. Let's put the VWAP here. Let me eliminate the bands. Some of you guys use VWAP. I don't normally use it, but let's put it here because it's a visual reference, right? I don't need bands. I only need the VWAP. And surprise, surprise. Another visual reference. The VWAP send it right back down. Now, we're one time framing up. So remember that. Now, here's the one time framing zone. Or the balance zone, I should say, is from here, the previous high that covers that area, to the previous low. Then you find the 50% of that. Surprise, surprise. Guess what's there? VWAP. So the VWAP was your balance zone pivot. And as you can see, it rejected right there at the 50%. So now a rejection there of 50% targets the low, which is right over here, 699. Doesn't mean it has to get there. I'm just saying that's a rejection. I think we have a target of a T2 of 42. Is it 42 or 52? Let me double check. I believe it's 52, but I could be wrong. Our target is 52. We do have a target there, 52. Okay, so just keep that in mind for now, okay? Keep that in mind. And any questions, let me double check the chat box here to see if you have any questions in my thing. No problem, no problem. Okay, I know it's gonna be lengthy, you guys, but it's gonna be all you need. Okay, so I told you that look for visual references and stuff like that. So now I'm gonna hide the naked POCs in 30 minutes. Okay, now I'm gonna bring the naked POCs in PVP in 4 hours. This I use for analysis. Okay, so 4 hour, we got one here at 734. We got one here at 680. Okay, in 4 hours. We got one up here at 911, and I believe that is gap fill. There's a 4 hour naked POC up here that it comes from. Oh, this is the session POC. I'm sorry. Let me delete this volume profile so I don't get confused. No, that's actually from this area here. That naked POC was hit here, 4 hour. Oh, look at that. This is perfect. So this is perfect because this candle here almost touched the 4 hour yesterday, and it bounced all the way back up to the VWAP from yesterday. And I think we took that trade for 79 points because we had a target yesterday at 911. I thought that was a target. Not quite sure. Let me double check so I'm not giving you the wrong information. But we had a target, whether it was yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. whatever. I know that level was important because I marked this trade right here for 80 points. Not quite sure why at this moment. But anyway, so the white lines are the 4 hours. Let me change it. Let me change the white line and make it, let me make them pink so I don't get lost. Oh no, you know what? I already have pink. Let me make them green. So that dark, uh, that green is basically your 4 hour POC. See that? POC 4 hours. This is what I use for longer, for weekly targets. In most of the cases, I'll do weekly targets from there. Okay, so we talked about the 30-minute naked POCs and the 4 hour naked POC. The one-time framing I discussed with you, but I'm gonna give you another piece of information that I didn't include in the agenda, which is extensions. So let's talk about extensions for a moment. Sometimes we are trading outside of the range, and it's hard to find targets above given range. And sometimes you can't find them, and you have to go back like 2 3 years. So I'm gonna hide all of the drawings here. Actually, I cannot hide the drawings. I'm gonna hide. I can't hide anything, I guess. All right, let me put this indicator here. This is called the market profile indicator, and I already have a program for 3 sessions. It does the Asian session, European session, and RTH session. And this is TPO. This is not, has nothing to do with volume profile. It's just TPO, which is a little bit different than the volume profile. So I'm gonna change from RTH to ETH so I can see all the trading that has been done. I'll wait a couple of minutes until the indicator loads, and we'll see what else we got here. Let me see what we got here. Is it loading still? Yeah, it's loading. So bear with me for a moment. Look at the rejection in the NQ right at the 50%. The VWAP is different because I have ETH session included in here. So it's going to calculate the VWAP from the opening yesterday. I only do RTH. That's why I only do RTH, because it gives me a different sense of information. So normally, when we don't have targets above it, so in case that I go back like a year or 2 or 3 years and I can't find anything, I operate with range extensions. Okay, so a range extension, for example, this is the European session high, this is a European session low. That creates a range. Okay, that is a range. I don't normally take it in consideration the Asian session too much, unless we have something significant happening. So I'll copy this and I look for 100% extension of that, and 100% extension of that. So we traded the 100% extension already. If I clone this, I'm looking at a 200% extension. If I divide this into 2, it would be 34 points. This is a perfect 1.5 extension right here. To the other measurement, I say it was 34 points. Perfect 1.5 extension of the European session. Change the Euro session to white. Perfect 1.5%. I took the longer route to show you that, but I can just do FIBs if I wanted to. For example. And then what I'll do here is you just got to change your stuff. So let me see. Okay, I can just apply extension here, apply template and put extensions. So here we have 1%, 100% extension, 150% extension, 200% extension of that. If we go to downside, I have 150%, 100% extension, no, 50% extension, which is 1.5, same as this here. 2% extension, which is right here. And I don't have 2.5, so 1.5, 2.5. Let me add 2.5. Negative 2.5. And positive 2.5. Now I can delete all these boxes, okay? I only did it like that so you could see how the market moves. I'm gonna remove that. I just did it manually. That's the way I used to do it before. What do you guys got right here? 2.5% extension. What do we have in this area? 690 was the weekly open, and that's why it was my target. 2.5 points in the ES is what in terms of dollars? $2.5 times $50 equals. So we got 100, and that's 2 points, and half a point is 25. So we got $125. In the NQ, $125 is 5. Let's just call it 6 points. 6 points. And we're talking about from the aspect of risk. 6 points. If I give you a target in the NQ, let's just say, for example, ES. So if I give you a target on the ES, and I said there was 2.5 points, and I think I have one box here. The easiest way to do it is you copy that box. You go to the NQ, for example, here. Let me see if let me paste that box. This is the same equivalent risk in the ES to the NQ. Okay, same thing. So if I give you a target at 690, you get this box here. You put it in the center of the box. Where did the price get to? Almost to the pivot, but it got inside the box. This is where you start looking for a reversal. A trade here will have look like this. Entry here, 727, stop at 696 to start, target 782. Why 782? I didn't make 782 up. Once this here broke, it made a new high in here. I'm already drawing my my box for the balance. And I told you that the balance was 50%, right? And that's where 782 came from. 782 came the moment that this candle break above this candle here. So when it broke above it, that moment you have some sort of confirmation that it's gonna go to 782 because it's the 50% of this box. I hope you guys are understanding this. So this is what I call extensions. And extensions is the most important thing when it comes to targets. I know we're running into 1 hour, so I will talk to you about trading execution. Let's bring back the naked POCs. Let's leave my target there. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. And this, what you have here is you have your target will basically hit, okay? Now you got your entry based on a 30-minute candle. So this is how the trade looks like. A long trade would be a candle opening. Your risk is the low of that candle. I will have probably initial risk. Make no mistake. Initial risk, it doesn't mean that it's what you're risking. Okay, you have to have a stop to let the trade develop. And your target initially was 783. Doesn't look like a great risk reward, but remember, the moment this candle closes right here, your risk is eliminated. The moment you trade below this candle, you're probably out of the trade. So if it opens here and it gets, back up and then back down, you probably don't want to be in it. You're probably going to be a break even by then anyways. So if you change this to regular trading hours, you hit VWAP, which is a visual reference. Right now, your trade should be risk-free. And you just hit that naked POC right here at 67. You hit it up here. You did not hit it up here. The ES did. The NQ still has a naked POC at 20. This is your trade. It's risk-free. And it was created at the opening of the 11 o'clock candle. You will have hit the target here. You will have rinse repeat because we have a level at 52. So that trade was out of the way. You have repeated the same trade until it fails, and it will have been candle opening here. And now you're targeting. Now your stop is less because you just need to cover this candle here. And your target, we have our target number 1, 817. Wow, this is right there, 817. Surprise, surprise. It can get to 820. This is your trade. Now look at the risk reward in this trade. Initially, look, you don't want to be here because if it breaks below this candle here, then the one-time framing up is interrupted. And now you're getting an inside candle being printed. So that candle should have a square. See it right there? It's a square right there because it's an inside candle. That is the trading execution, the trade execution. Now, let's say you are still in this trade. Your stop is now in profits because your stop is right here. If you did not take your profits, your stop is right here. Now, do I think 820 is going to trade today? I don't know. That's yet to be determined. But if I bring my single print indicator, which is my visual market profile, it's right here. There's a single print here. See, the single print gets all the way up to 832. So this trade can stretch out to 832. It could actually stretch out to value area high, which is 838. That's the potential of the trade. Now you got to recognize the environment. You're looking at my screen here. The NQ is down 200 points. So the trend is down. So you're going to take all your points whenever you can. And guess what? This candle just hit that naked POC up there, and that is a short entry. But you gotta respect the one-time framing. Ideally, you don't want to. I know you probably want to sell it right here, 67. You want to be a seller, but you're one-time framing up, so you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to wait to see the next candle. If you want to short, if the next candle opens over here below our target, which is 52, we have a target of 52, which has been proven to be a really good target. 52. Then you want to short 52, and then you use the high of this candle, which is 67, as your stop. And if it breaks below that candle here, and then that candle here, then you start balancing again. Then you do the opposite. You get the high candle, the low candle, 50%, and then you look for confirmations. But we'll address that when we get there. Until then, we are below the opening range low, below the opening price, below the pre-market low. The only thing that saved the NQ was the closing from last week, which was 693. And the low of the NQ is 698. I think that covers pretty much all I got. If you have any questions, you can send it over on Discord or you can put it in the chat box here. I'll hang around for a couple of more minutes in case you have any questions about this. And then we'll go back to live trading in Discord if you're good with it. And we can talk a little bit more about it if you also want to review that. Now, I'm not sure how many viewers we got. I'm not sure who's watching, who's not, but this is a recording. It'll be on my YouTube library. So we're good. So any questions? I only see Regime. Regime, you got any questions or anything? I know you're in Discord. Whitman is also there. Not sure. But
No, I like it.
what do you think? You need any more clarification or anything?
I'm gonna watch it again and again, but it makes sense.
Okay, so did I cover, now that you're the one that's active, I'm just gonna ask, did I cover the volume profile overview?
You covered yeah, the volume profile. The POCs are the key part, and that 82 short. The fact that it happened in real time is perfect.
Okay, so I want you guys look, and this is just a naked, for me this is a naked chart because nothing is telling you buy or sell in this. This is just analysis. This is pure price action analysis. You know, the VWAP is an indicator. Yeah, it is an indicator. Everything is an indicator. But it's not an indicator that's telling you a buy or sell signal because that's not what we want. We want to make sure that we understand the market and that we understand what the market conditions are and we execute based on that. So here's the buy sell pressure, which I cannot stress enough that how important this thing is. You can see from the beginning of the session how we open on a bearish scenario, and the buy sell pressure is actually the distance between the buy and the sell is actually growing as prices are moving up. That's why when we were doing the live trading this morning, I was looking at the delta and I noticed that what was happening, people were selling into a strength. It wasn't necessarily a true buying. It was more of potentially a short covering and some other shorts that were reloading. But again, you know, NQ is down 200 points, so 190 right now. You know, I think there's a lot of opportunities today. I know this is lunchtime, might be a little slow, but you know, we'll see what happens the rest of the day, and we'll take it from there. You know, any questions, any comments, or any concerns? Just send me a text message or not a text message, a message, and then we'll take it from there. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Dímelo, Tole.
Hey, ¿qué pasó? Let me stop the live. Hold on 1 second.
I'm just coming.
I'm ending the stream right now, and then I'll crop the videos to make it a little more